Matthew chapter 10, verses 5 through 15. These 12 Jesus sent out, instructing them, "Go nowhere among the Gentiles, and enter no town of the Samaritans, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and proclaim as you go, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse lepers, cast out demons. You received without paying, give without pay. Acquire no gold or silver or copper for your belts, no bag for your journey, or 2 tunics, or sandals, or staff. For the laborer deserves his food. And whatever town or village you enter, find out who is worthy in it and stay there until you depart. As you enter the house, greet it, and if the house is worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it is not worthy, let your peace return to you. And if anyone will not receive you or listen to your words, shake off the dust from your feet. When you leave that house or that town, truly I say to you, it will be more tolerable or bearable on that day of judgment for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah than for that town. A rehearsal of grammar in letter usage might prove helpful in opening our discussion today. Capital A start sentences and proper nouns, while on the other hand, lowercase a's never start sentences, but when situated among other letters, the small a helps to form words. As a vowel, it is indispensable to spelling a word, but the small a never starts a sentence. It performs a necessary task, but never the task reserved for the capital A. Though the small a is small, it functions as a very needed part of the sentence, and it is just as important as the capital A. Just because you are not a capital A doesn't mean that you are any less important. Your function is just as needed and just as important. Likewise, each of us has been called to a task, but that task differs from the task to which Jesus called the 12 apostles. Yet our function is still required, still needed, and just as important. Jesus compassionately gazed out on the landscape of the world and observed souls casually going about their daily lives while the impending wrath of God loomed overhead. Consequently, Jesus invited his disciples to pray to the Lord of the harvest that he would mercifully supply and then send extra help in evangelizing the world. Apparently, if we read the text right, the disciples obediently prayed, and that prayer caused them to be a part of Christ's solution. Christ then chose 12 of them to be a part of his team to solve the problem. He chose 12 disciples and sent them out as apostles. Jesus sent the newly appointed apostles with a particular message. The kingdom of heaven is near. He gave them power over death, skin disease, and Satan's demons. The apostles were not to concern themselves with the logistics of their journey. Jesus, in a very real sense, forbade any extra money, clothes, shoes, or food. He would take care of them, and they would need to trust him to do so. Their itinerary included travel to various inviting homes where they would share the good news about the kingdom's arrival. When visiting those homes where the message of the kingdom would be rejected, they were to in turn depart, carrying with them their offering of peace. It would be impossible to recreate this scenario. At present, Jesus has already gone to the cross, finished his atoning work at Calvary, rose from the dead, and ascended to the Father. Consequently, in the technical sense, the official office of apostles cannot be duplicated. Their sending was absolutely unique. However, each of us who know Christ are called as apostles or ambassadors sent to the world with the message of Jesus Christ. In this lesser way, we are all apostles with a small a. Jesus calls each of us as his ambassadors to carry the message to the world. In this way, this text can be applied to each of us as we share the good news about Jesus Christ. So, how did Jesus send out his ambassadors? The 12 commissioned apostles operated during that time as Jesus's ambassadors to the world. Jesus sent them into the world with what we might consider demonstrative miracles and a dynamic message. He sent them with a promise of security. He sent them to people who needed to hear, and with an expressed ability to offer divine peace. Jesus sent them with parameters. He sent them with a proclamation. He sent them with power. He sent them without a purse to people with an offering of peace.